Hello and welcome everybody to another StarCraft 2 cast by Glitch. This is going to be Game 2 of FnaticMSiTT1 versus oGsTOP. And spawning here in the top right position as the pink Protoss playing for Team FnaticMSI, we have TT1. Spawning here in the bottom left position of Xel'Naga Caverns as the blue Terran playing for Team oGS, one of their best players, we have TOP. Now, in Game 1, we saw a big 6 Warp Gate push here by TT1, and TT1 was just unable to break the front of TOP. TOP just had 3 bunkers up, and he just mass repaired them like a boss, didn't lose a single unit other than some workers, and TT1 just lost a ton of his army units, and was forced to fall back and try to get back into a macro-style game. But from that point on, TOP was just ahead in his army size, and was just able to stay way ahead of TT1 for the rest of the game, and won pretty decisively as TT1 just went for a second all-in kind of push, and when that push didn't work, TT1 just GG'd out of that game. So going here into Game 2, if TOP is able to take Game 2, he will be taking this entire best of 3 and moving on in this tournament, whereas if TT1 is able to take this game, then we will be moving on into a Game 3. See who can take this best of 3. Now in the base of TT1 right now, we currently have that standard gateway gas opening right now, and looks like TT1 is going to be scouting his opponent's base right now as TOP is scouting TT1's base. So it looks like they are going to get about an equally timed scout, both players meeting at about the middle of the map at about the same time. And in the base of TOP right now, he does have that 1 barracks now up, but he is mining gas. In Game 1, we actually saw him go for no gas till quite late and get up a quick 1 racks expansion. But here in Game 2, looks like he is going to be mining a little bit of gas. Can expect to see a factory here coming down fairly soon. What is it going to be out of TOP? One build that is getting increasingly popular is, of course, the 1-1-1 build. That is different from what people used to refer to as the 1-1-1 build. The 1-1-1 build used to be where you would just get a barracks and a factory and a starport up all in a row, and then you could go for a variety of different things. But now there's a very, very heavily used build that's a different kind of 1-1-1. They still call it a 1-1-1, but it's a different kind of 1-1-1 where you use the barracks to get up a lot of Marines, you use the factory to get up Hellions, then you throw down a starport to get out Banshees, so you kind of have this 3-pronged harass that can be very, very, very strong against a lot of different opponents. And Protoss being the one that it is primarily used against, because it can be very, very hard to defend as Protoss. But in the base of TT1 right now, he's just throwing down that Cybernetics core, just now getting that research, Warp Gate research starting now. 1 Stalker now coming out. I don't think we actually have a Zealot out on the field, but TOP actually placing a forward SCV, maybe going to be trying to throw down some kind of early bunker pressure here if he sees an expansion here, or maybe he's just going to be scouting for this expansion. But TT1 actually realizing, wow, actually going for a quick scout there behind that little back hallway, and actually manages to see that there's an SCV back there. But TOP has now seen the expansion going down for TT1, and it looks like he's now going to be scouting up into his opponent's base, getting the gas count, seeing that there's only 1 gas geyser up at present, seeing that chrono boost going down that cybernetics core, which is going to be very, very indicative of what TT1 is going to be going for us. Chrono boost on that cybernetics core, of course, could mean that he's trying to rush out that warp gate tech, which actually, yeah, we can see he's actually doing that more than a couple of times here. So this could actually be some kind of interestingly timed gateway push. It would be very unusually timed here, as no other gateways have come down yet, and that this Warp Gate research is actually going to be done quite a bit earlier. This is Chrono Boost, of course, that can be spent instead on the Nexus and getting up more workers here. So the fact that he's spending a lot of Chrono Boost on the Cybernetics core is actually a very, very interesting move here, as we do now have 4 Warp Gates coming down here. Whoa, 5 Warp Gates coming down now here for TT1. This is going to be a lot of gateways, and as you can see, they weren't quite timed to match up with that Warp Gate research. So this is going to be a very, very interestingly timed Warp Gate push here coming out for TT1. Now, in the base of TOP, he has managed, looks like he didn't actually go for that 1-1 style build. He managed to get up a couple more barracks. Factory with attached tech lab is now down, and it looks like he's going to actually be going for that marine tank style of play. Very, very commonly used against Zerg opponents, but he's going to be using it here against Protoss. Going to see how that works for him. I'm actually very curious to know how that worked for him. It looks like he is now starting to move out. He's pulling some SCVs to come with him, I think, on this attack. Either that or just getting a quick expansion. No, it looks looks like he's actually going to be bringing the SCVs with him. They're going to be able to repair and throw up bunkers, but there is a stalker here on this Xel'Naga watchtower that is going to be aware of this big push that's now moving across the map here for top, and it looks like these warp gates are going to be here up just in time to be able to defend with this. And yeah, we now see a lot of units being warped in here for TT1. He's going to try to move around and try to attack these units before they get sieged up in the back, but now top sieging up here just behind the natural expansion here of TT1, and TT1 now moving in with a lot of zealots trying to focus down that siege tank. The one siege tank goes down, force fields going down around this other siege tank as a lot of probes come in from the back and start to deal damage to that siege tank. And wow, I think TT1 is actually going to clean up this entire attack quite nicely with a beautiful flank there from TT1. Absolutely well done there by TT1. That was beautiful defense there. Let's check out the units lost tab after that. And yeah, as we can see, top has clearly lost a lot more resources than TT1 in that engagement. Beautiful, beautiful little flank there by TT1. Top now forced to sit back. Looks like he was rallying more troops to his opponent's base because he was expecting that attack to do much more damage. But as we can see now, he's forced to use those units to sit back and defend, as now he's going to be behind economically. He has not yet thrown down any expansion command center, and TT1's expansion center is really going to start to take, or his expansion nexus rather, is going to start to really take off here very soon. Whoa, TT1 needs to be careful there, as there are siege tanks up on the high ground here, and I don't think he's actually going to be able to come in and deal any damage. But TT1 is actually going to be ecstatic to see that no command center has gone down yet for top, and top is really going to have to look to push out one more time and do some damage here, because at this point I think TT1 has had this expansion up for enough time that it's now starting to pay for itself, and I think TT1 is going to be in a fantastic macro position here. Top going to be forced to push out very soon, because I think even if he threw down a command center, at this point in time, he's just going to be too far behind. He just needs to put all of his resources off of this one base right now into just getting up a huge army and just trying to go for one big push before TT1's army gets too large here. But looks like top still, yeah, not expanding. Looks like he's really going to need to base this off of this stim timing attack. He's researching that stim right now. I would almost expect him to get up another add-on on this barracks right now. If it was a longer game where he was throwing down an expansion, I would say, yeah, save resources on getting those reactors down and just focus on getting up more economy. But just because here top has decided to go for some add-ons here and just try to end this on one base, I think getting up some more barracks would be, or getting up some more reactors and add-ons would be very useful at this point in time. Now, here comes the big engagement from top, as he is now moving out with a lot of Marines, a lot of siege tanks, going for a second push here, but the army of TT1 is getting rather big right now. He does have an Immortal out on the field. He's currently getting some more Immortals coming out right now. He is on the Xel'Naga watchtower. He is aware of this attack, and there go the force fields going down, blocking some of the Marines going out. Not the best force fields in the world, but it did cut off some of those Marines, and he managed to get a lot of Marine kills. Now TT1 is just going to be pulling back to his base. He actually lost a lot of Zealots there, and as we can see, yeah, he's actually behind now in the units lost tab. I don't think it was the best choice to engage there, but now it looks like top is going to be moving in a little bit more confidently here. MSI's TT1 trying to move around the back, trying to get a good engagement angle here, but he's taking a lot of damage from these siege tanks, and the forces of top now moving in to try to deal as much damage as he can. We do have to remember the top is pretty much all in at this point. He's rallying every unit that he makes to his opponent's base, and he's really just going to try to end the game right now. I'm actually surprised he didn't pull more SCVs. He did leave some SCVs here to just keep mining so he can keep creating more units back home, but man, TT1 just continuing to rally more units. He knows that this push is very all in. He's going to be trying to pull probes to try to deal damage here, and here come all the forces from TT1 right now as he's trying to attack from both sides. Immortals dealing so much damage. He needs to get these Immortals focusing down these siege tanks. Lots of probes coming out here to defeat this attack. And top currently sitting at only 40 food, and will TT1 be able to break this attack? It looks like yes, TT1 actually was able to break that attack, and TT1 is still way ahead in Harvesters, 30-14 right now, in an absolutely fantastic position to win this game. I think TT1 is going to be taking game 2 here, and I think we're going to be going into a game 3. There's really not much top can do at this point in time. He's only got 14 harvesters. He's only on one base to the 2 bases of TT1. TT1 still producing more Immortals out of those robotics facilities. 6 gateways are currently up. He's now moving forward with what little of an army he has. I would actually expect that he's going to probably be pulling a probe here soon so that he can just move in. He really doesn't need to be aggressive at this point in time. He's almost double the food of top right now, so he's in a fantastic position to win already. All he needs to do is continue to macro up, stay way ahead in the food count, maybe even take another expansion once he gets this base fully saturated. And I think he'll be in an absolutely fantastic position to win this game. Now, looks like we do have an SCV here coming scouting for top, and I'm actually surprised that top isn't just GGing immediately, just because, yeah, he's sending this SCV and try to get as much scouting information as he can, seeing exactly what his opponent is doing. Just based on seeing this natural expansion, though, top should realize that he really doesn't have much hope. At this point in time, his main is starting to get mined out. He only has 5 mineral patches left in his main expansion. And there's really just, I mean, it looks like he's going to try to gear up for one last push with Marines and Siege Tanks, but this is a pretty desperate push at this point in time. This is not going to be that big of an army compared to the size of TT1's army right now, who is very heavily favoring these Immortals, which do extremely good against these Siege Tanks. These Immortals, of course, have these hardened shields, which decreases all the damage of all damage received that's greater than 10 down to 10 damage. So these siege tanks, which actually deal a lot of damage when they're sieged up, these things actually deal 50 damage versus armored. That 50 damage is just going to be reduced down to 10 damage on these Immortals. So these Immortals very, very, very good against siege tanks. And here we go now. TT1 is now going to be moving out. He is feeling pretty confident at this point in time, continuing to get his Nexus nice and saturated at his natural expansion here. Looks like top is going to be trying to take the gold expansion here. That's a pretty desperate move here from top. It's about what he needs to do also if he's going to want to be able to have any kind of chance in this game. He really needs to do something big here to try to come back. But TT1 sending that scout observer up ahead of time, sees this Marine army here, doesn't know whether an expansion's gone down yet here for top, but at this point he's got to be feeling very confident. He has one probe that's placing all the forward pylons, all the zealots now coming down. Do these zealots have charge? These zealots do not have charge yet. Do we have anything going on in the base right now to research? No, looks like no tech being researched yet for TT1, and I'm actually kind of surprised that TT1 isn't producing more units. He's really just focusing on getting an army, and here comes the big engagement here from TT1, splitting up some of his forces around this side, cutting off all these Marines, while all these other Stalkers and Immortals cut from the back and take out all the siege tanks from the back, and beautifully played engagement there by TT1. Gonna be taking game 2, which means, ladies and gentlemen, that we are gonna be going into game 3 of the series to see who is gonna be taking this best of 3, so don't go anywhere. Game 3 coming up right now.